I am full-time homeless. No apartment, no base, no backup plan. Just a laptop and a suitcase full of clothing. For the first half year of this year, I was traveling. Bali, Da Nang, Lisbon, but I was still subleasing my apartment in Amsterdam, holding on to it like a safety net. Deep down, I knew that I wasn't going to turn back. So I sold everything, closed the last open tab on my old life. And now this is it. This video is for everyone who wonders what it's actually like to live and work on the road. I'll show you what I own, how I make money, how I stay grounded, uncomfortable truths that no one talks about. If you ever dreamed of this lifestyle as a remote entrepreneur or digital nomad, or already started and still feel a little lost, stick around because this might be the clarity you need to go all in. Let's rewind a bit because I didn't woke up one day and threw my life in a suitcase. For the first 6 months of 2025, I was traveling full time. I spent over 3 months in Lisbon, 2 months in Bali, 1 month in Da Nang. But even while traveling, I still had my apartment back in Amsterdam. I told myself it was smart, a safety net, just in case. But the truth, it was a leash. Mentally, I wasn't free. Every trip came with the low-key pressure. What if I have to go back? What if it doesn't work? Every time the sublease ended, I had to find someone new or had to fly back to fix things. It keeps pulling me back to a version of life that I didn't want anymore. But then something clicked. After weeks in Bali, then Da Nang, I felt it. My quality of life was up, my creativity, it was up, and every time I thought about going back home, I felt resistance. That's when I knew it was time to just cut the rope. To stop playing half and half and just go all in. So when I got back to Amsterdam, I didn't settle in. I sold everything. Furniture, donated clothing, sold gear I did not use or just threw it away, gone. I am not coming back. Because in the 6 months that I was gone, from Madeira to Bali, Da Nang, Lisbon, Albufeira, I realized something. I didn't miss home. I missed momentum. So I stripped it all down, and with one backpack and a carry-on that's a little bit too small, I left. First stop, Istanbul. Then straight to Thailand. And now I'm planning my return to Bali. But there's the thing, this wasn't some kind of movie, just the realization that most of what I owned was just BS, stuff I didn't need or used. You don't need that much. So what do you actually carry when your life fits in a backpack and a suitcase? Right now I got a slightly oversized expendable backpack. Great for if I'm staying put for a while or use one place as a base. And a small carry-on suitcase, which honestly is a bit too small. I've tried the whole ultra minimal thing and it works until you still have to check it in anyways, because your backpack is too bulky to be a personal item. Soon I'll upgrade to a medium-sized suitcase, the kind that you manage quite easily but actually fits your life. I used to travel with like this massive one, but that's way too much. Now I rather have something compact but practical. The essentials: clothing, one sweater, a jacket, some gym shorts, a few t-shirts, and just enough underwear and socks to last at least for 2 weeks without doing laundry. Tech: my MacBook, a laptop stand, a tripod, 2 books, my journal, and sticky notes. Shoes: 1 pair of flip-flops, 1 pair of clean, casual, good-looking loafers, my Nikes, which I'll switch for hiking shoes when I'm back in Lisbon, and some gym shoes that need replacement. And then, of course, you have some other stuff, like a quick-drying towel, the usual hygiene stuff, and a nail cutter that I weirdly always lose. But I also still have a small wish list, though, to optimize my nomadic setup a bit more, like a books tablet. It's kind of a remarkable, but you can just do a bit more with it. Would be a game changer for how I read, take notes, and how I plan things. A new MacBook. Mine is kinda old and running out of fume, but I'll swap it when I'm back in Lisbon or Europe in general. Possibly a second screen, but I'm not sure about that. I will see it when I have my new laptop, and maybe some packing cubes. I've resisted it for quite long, but maybe it's time to stop living like a raccoon, digging through all the clothing. Do I have any regrets of packing? Well, not really. The suitcase might be a bit too small, the backpack is maybe a bit too big, but it works. And honestly, like I said, you don't need that much. You just need to know what you actually use, what actually supports your day to day. Everything else is just weight. Now, let's talk about how I actually make this lifestyle work. Because freedom doesn't mean that you're not working. It means you're choosing what to work on, where and with who. Because right now I'm running a boutique AI agency with my business partner and best friend Fabio. We help businesses streamline their operations while integrating AI agents and workflows, while I help them with the sales and marketing side, where we also automate a lot. And right now we're working on some really big partnerships that could shift everything. But that's not the only stream. I also take on some copywriting projects for email copywriting or ad copy when it is aligned, most often in the info product space. I've spoken at events like I'm doing next week at Bitcoin Indonesia in Bali, representing Atlantis. And yeah, I invest in Bitcoin myself. I believe in it long term, so it's part of the bigger picture. How it actually works in the day-to-day, I usually start the day with some journaling, then I either hit the gym or the beach, so I can start the day with movement before I go into deep work. Once I'm at the laptop, it's focus mode. Calls, content, strategies, whatever is on my sticky notes. Sometimes I work late and sometimes I don't. The key? Time zone awareness. Most of my clients are in Europe, so mornings are quiet and that's when I get most of the creative work done. I use Google Calendar religiously. It adjusts across time zones, so I always know when I'm supposed to be on. During the week, I work. That's the priority. But I'll still explore. Maybe in the morning before the calls, or at night when the city lights up. Weekends, they are for wandering. That's when I really soak in the culture, the chaos, the surprises. It's not about balance, it's about rhythm, since most often in the weekends I still do some work. But let's drop the highlights for a second. Because while this lifestyle looks dreamy, there are a few things nobody tells you. Everyone sees the sunset and laptops, but here is what they don't tell you. Visas, they can be tricky. Even with a strong Dutch passport like mine, you've got to plan ahead. Some places are 30 days, others 60. You just don't want to be figuring that out last minute. Time zones, they can mess you up. It's a gift and a curse, because quiet mornings, they are great, but the late night calls, not always fun. Loneliness, it's real. That's why I hit Meetup or look on events on Atlantis, join run clubs, or work from cafes or co-workings. Get out of the apartment. Talk to strangers. That's how you make this life sustainable. Burnout, they're sneaky. And especially when paradise starts to feel like a desk, just with a better view. That's why I journal, why I analyze what works, why I make space for unproductive days. Because they happen. It's not about chasing balance. It's about building a rhythm you can live with. But beyond the setup, the gear, the clients, the chaos, would I actually go back to a normal life? Do I miss home? Not really. I call my parents every weekend. And my business partner is also my best friend. So the people that matter most are still a big part of my life, no matter where I am. What has this lifestyle taught me? Well, that everything is possible, that most limits are mental, that you don't need a lot to live a lot. I've met people from every corner of the world, traded ideas, explored cultures, seen how different people live, and it's a blessing to be able to experience all of that. But this life, it's not for everyone. But if you can handle responsibility, take initiative, and thrive through chaos, it might be the greatest adventure of your life. What you need is focus, willingness, and the courage to let go. Let go of the things that keep you stuck. This isn't van life. It's not backpacking, and it's not some influencer life. This is me documenting my journey as a full-time nomad entrepreneur. Subscribe, because there's lots of cool content coming that you don't want to miss out on. And if you like this video, you probably like this video as well. No, really, I really think you like this video. So click here and I see you on the other side. Visionaries, as always, take action, create your own life, and I see you in the next one. Ciao.